Hello, everyone, and welcome to our today's show, the Beautifully Bruised in the CPS show. I'm so glad that you have tuned in today. You know what? I'm like, my God, where does time go? I guess time flies when you're having fun. And not only fun, but when you're doing something where your heart is connected to it, where you have a passion for it. So, again, I don't take nothing for granted. I thank God for each and every uh, person, every spirit, every soul that I've had a chance to interview, that from the professionals to the victims to the overcomers. I am so grateful that God has placed us in each other's path. I think you can learn something from somebody if you're willing to. So I do, like I've always said, that iron sharpens irons. I've always just had a desire. I like helping people. I like serving people. It's just something that I get out of it, giving back. And it may not always be materialistic, but sometimes if you can just take the time out and listen to what somebody has to say, it can make the world of difference in somebody's life. I know even sometimes when I'm at the grocery stores, or if I'm just like I don't know, getting some air in your tire, or wherever you might be. Sometimes if you can just take a few moments, it don't have to be much of your time, but just to lend a listening ear. I've noticed that people just sometimes just need to vent and share what they're going through. We're all lifing, right? It's constantly always something going on. So I just think it's so important to be able to just take time out and if you can, and provide a listening ear, because you have no idea, by taking that time out, how that can make a huge, significant difference in somebody's life. With that being said, again, everyone know when I've always started my show, I've always started out by thanking God, because without him, I would be nothing. I would be absolutely nothing. I can tell you for a fact that he gives me the grace and mercy to continue on. It's been many times that I don't know why I'm teary eyed, but it's been many times where I didn't want to go any further. But God told me that I'm with you. And he has been. Okay. So my, um, I give credit where credit is due, which is to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I've always said, Daddy, my story for your glory. So I am honored to be sitting in front of you today. I am going to announce that I've spoken with Grace, which is the show's producer, and she's awesome. She's amazing. She's been a joy to be in conversation with, to share with. But at this time, I'm going to share that this probably will be my last time taping this show. I just want people to know that I have not taken nobody for granted. I have not taken this opportunity for granted. And I thank God for allowing me to sit here in front of you to bring your story to the forefront, to share what you've been through with CPS, to share the pain, the hurt, the transparency even. I do believe that transparency transforms. I do believe if enough stories are come forth and come to the forefront, enough people hear and enough people come together for a greater cause, which is our children, that maybe and prayerfully one day that this corrupt system would change for the better. I've always said that, I've had an encounter with CPS. God allowed me to go down into the deeps of the oh my God, I won't say a dragon of a dungeon, but it was honestly something I had never witnessed in my entire life. And again, that's why I'm so grateful to God, because he gave me the strength to survive everything that they tried to do to me and my family. And if it wasn't for God's grace, if it wasn't for God's mercy, I would have not made it out. So I am just going to say that God, again, I'm so grateful. And that's why when I come on these shows, I always try to tell people to keep your faith in God. Do not ever give up. I know it gets hard. I know it's challenging. I know it's scary when you're dealing with something bigger than you, when you're dealing with the government. You don't know what, it's going to come out of. And it's scary because it's your children, that's in that system. And you don't know where your kids a lot of times are placed. And there's so much that's going on in the world. So I promise to God, my heart is for you. I pray for you. When I talked to God this morning, I said, Lord, closing this show out, I don't even know what to say. But I do know this, that it's important that you take God with you no matter where you go, no matter where you journey to next, whatever it is comes in your life, that, whether it was something that came into you that you had no control over. Heather, thank you so much for your comment, and send EJ my love. I appreciate even the guests that's tuning in, that's been on the show, that's chiming in. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. Thank you so much for bringing on or coming on the show, sharing your truth and what you've been through to be encouragement for other families that are currently going through CPS, even families that have overcame CPS. I think many of the professionals, we've had counselors, we've had people that even work for CPS. We've had paralegals. We had different genres of different, God has blessed us with people in different places in life that all came together for one accord to help you be better, to be a better person, to help you know what you need to know to win your kids back, to know what to do when you go in the next courtroom, to know how to conduct yourself, to know how to handle yourself, to know when you go to the next visitation, when you interact with your children, what you need to do while they're, documenting your interactions. My biggest goal and my biggest focus is to help you get your kids back. I know there's no place like home. My mom is not with me now, but I can tell you that that is the love that she's given me. There's nothing like a mother. My grandmother's 106. She raised me. There's nothing like that type of love. It's endless, it's priceless, and your kids need you. They do. Even if you can't be there with them physically, but I pray that you will continue to get the strength, will continue to get the strength to do what you need to do, to fight, to fight, to fight, so you can win your children back home where they belong, which is with you. Don't you never, ever give up on fighting for your kids. And I am telling you this because I've been through it myself. There is every reason why you should give up, why you can give up, why you can't get up. But the devil is a liar. Just know that no weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. Okay? Don't you dare put a period where there should be a comma. Because guess what? God is not through writing your story yet. He is not. I don't care how bad it gets. And see, that's the trick of the enemy. He will put you through so much in life that it will make you just want to give out. But like my grandmother, who's 106 years old, she tells me, Trika, you might give out, but don't you ever give up. And that is the difference. I can tell you, even coming on here this morning, I received phone calls. I received some information that could have knocked me off my feet. But I refused to give in to what was presented. I want to come on and be an encourager to you. I want to come on to serve you, to tell you, hey, yeah, it might look bad right now, but guess what? It's not over yet. Your story is still being written. Don't let something temporarily affect you long term. Your kids can come back home. That is the whole purpose of this platform. That is the whole purpose of Attorney Vince, from my understanding. This very seat is the same seat that I sat in when I first did the interview for his show. And I think it's probably about 6 or 7 months now or longer, nearly half a year ago or longer. I'm sitting in the very chair that when I was speaking to Attorney Vince, sharing my experience of what I went through, I remember at the end of our conversation, listening to all the positive feedback, learning from what he was sharing as being a licensed attorney, working as a CPS, fighting CPS for what, 30 or 40 years. Knowledge is power. I took in as much as I could while I was sharing my story. And at the end of our interview, he asked me, would you like to be a host on my platform? And I told him, absolutely. Anything it takes to get these children out of this vicious, corrupt system, count me in. Count me in. And please do not misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying everyone in CPS is corrupt, because I got a chance to meet some really good people. I remember meeting a counselor that told me she didn't see, or what was no longer validated for CPS to be doing what they were doing. So she signed off on it. She no longer will be a part of it. It was people like her that was willing to stand up and have integrity that made a difference in my life. I met other people that work for CPS that has also been a way of just knowing a beacon of hope, of providing more understanding to tell me things that I needed to know. So again, I'm not saying everybody that works for CPS are bad people, because I have met some people that do mean well. They do want you and your children to be reunited. They do. Believe it or not. So though, and I've even had guests on the show that have shared that same thing, that they met some people, that actually some caseworkers even, that they recommended some counseling services for them. And it's things, once they realize, after they completed that counseling session, that it's things that they realized within themselves that they could benefit from. And guess what? By them completing the services, doing what they're supposed to do, they were reunited with their children. Again, I'm not speaking to all CPS workers, individuals, caseworkers. I'm only speaking to the ones that lack integrity, that are using CPS as a weapon against people who they might not like for whatever reason, whether it's personal, whether it's petty, whether it's for money, politics, or power. I just pray that people that works for CPS, please know these are real lives. These are real hearts and souls. Some people do make mistakes. My God, if God judged us on the mistakes we made, would nobody be living. So thank God for forgiveness, okay? And just because you made a mistake in the past doesn't mean you're going to continue to make a mistake. Sometimes that mistake will make you become a better person, that you'll hopefully learn from your mistakes. So I don't think there should be a write-off or an indictment just because you made a mistake in the past. Because I've met a lot of great moms right here on this platform, on the Beautifully Bruised and CPS show, and you can tell that they've done the work. You can tell that they have a heart for their children. Some were able to regain their custody, and unfortunately, some were not. But I just want, if I could do anything within my means, anything within my power, to come on here and say, don't ever stop fighting for your kids. Nobody knows the love that you have for your kids but you. And all you can do is prove that by operating in the manner that makes you be the best version of you. Okay, so I do the work. I ask you to do the work. There's something we all can improve on and be better at. Okay, life is not easy, but it is worth going through certain things to make you better. And that's why I try my best to encourage others and say, don't throw in the towel just because you hit a bump in the road. You might endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. And I'm not only telling you I'm not only speaking this to you, I'm also speaking to myself. I go through some of the same challenges that you go through. But the thing that makes me keep going, the things that make me keep getting up, is the faith that I have in God, is the trust that I have in God, because I've noticed He never failed me. He never failed me. And guess what? He never will. So that's why I do my part. I do my due diligence. That's why I try to serve in my community. That's why I care about, talking to families and parents. And even if you're not a person that's being affected by CPS and you know somebody that is, this is a great platform to tune into 24/7. You can call in even at times. You can Turn Events has a platform where you can come and hopefully be a guest on this show to share your story, either just make comments or things that you have questions about and may have concerns about. That's what this is for. This is a great way or a platform for you to come and to be engaged in what you need to know legal with regarding CPS laws, and what you need to know how to fight with getting your kids back. Another way, I really believe my heart's desire is to encourage you, because I know going through this transition is not easy. Oh my God, it's not. But the race isn't given to it's not given to the swift. It's not given to people that's faint at heart. It's given to people that can endure. Sometimes your biggest test are tests that affects you closely, like your children, your family. That don't nothing affect you normally
other than something that comes against your kids. Okay. But I do know that God is a waymaker. And I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. If you keep God first, you keep your faith in God, there is nothing that He can't do. There is nothing too hard for God that He cannot do. I have seen Him bring me out and others out time and time again. How? Because we didn't give up. Not that we didn't get tired, but we didn't quit. We stayed in the fight. Okay. So again, I cannot emphasize enough that my biggest thing advice I give you as I sign off on this show today is to never give up on God, to keep God first. Take God no matter wherever you go. And along with that, don't you ever, ever, ever give up on fighting for your children. They need you. They need you. You know, and I just want to encourage you today and just let you know that as long as you keep staying, keep persevering, keep doing whatever your casework is giving you to do, you know, prayerfully you have an attorney. I do believe having wise legal counsel was definitely something that allowed me to become an overcomer in what they were trying to do to me. I do believe God placed people in certain positions, such as doctors, lawyers, you know, teachers, even in what your profession is and training you had to go through, the experience you've learned. People are in these positions for a reason. They're needed. And if you are able, I highly recommend you seek wise legal counsel, whether it's attorney Vince. If you can't get attorney Vince, whatever legal wise counsel you can get. And please make sure that they know CPS laws and they are aggressive when it comes to reuniting and fighting for your children to return home if they've been taken away. Those are something that's very important that you need to know when you're looking and searching out for an attorney. Very important. So again, I just want to share that. Like I said, this has been, I don't take this opportunity for granted. I thank God that He allowed me to come on this platform with you, to share my story, to hear your different stories and seeing all the different things that you've overcame, that you're still going through. Because your truth, your transparency, believe it or not, it helps to set others free and let people know that they're not alone in this fight. And let people know that Hope Alive can do anything. It can still set a spark in somebody's spirit. It can still make a person give up, not give up, but not give out, but keep going. Maybe your story that you shared have made somebody realize, you know what? If she can make it through that, then surely I can make it through this. So you'll be surprised. There is life and death in the power of your tongue. When I tell you your words have power, it can either bring somebody up or it can take somebody down. And hopefully you will use what you've been through. Hopefully you will use what you're going through for the better for yourself and for others. We learn from each other. That's why it's a saying that iron sharpens irons. Okay, we learn from each other. Prayfully, we can go and grow from what we've been through. And again, that is why I really, really do. I love serving because it brings about change, needed change, like the CPS system. Change is needed in this system. It's very much so needed. You know, the rules, regulations, so much need to be implemented and changed for the better for these children. And it's going to take all of us to come together as one for a greater cause. For what? For our children. Our children are the future. Okay. And I do believe it's people like us that need to be in position, fulfilling purpose to make sure that we're here for our children because they need us. Okay. So I just wanted to, again, come on here and say, even though this may be my last day taping this show, who knows what God has for me in the future. There are some things that I will be working on. And again, if there's ever any time you wanted to chime in and reach out to me and say, hey, I just want to tell you this, I want to share my testimony, please reach out to me at my website. It is daddylightsministry.com. You can come on there 24/7. You can share whatever it is you want me to know, and I will read it and I will respond as soon as I can. So again, I thank God for this opportunity. I want to tell you to, no matter what comes and goes in your life, keep God first. Don't you ever give up on fighting for your children. They love you, they deserve you. And if you put things in place, if you do what you're supposed to do, if you be the best version of you, don't be surprised, and watch and see how God will bring to pass what you've been praying for. For example, I share this before I get ready to end this segment today. Like I mentioned earlier, I asked God, what is it should I say today for this last segment? And I do believe God was, as I was kind of reevaluating some things I went through in my life, because I know with me, I'm known to give sometimes people that's not even maybe the best kind of people, I give them too much of a benefit of a doubt. Okay. Again, transparency transforms. I just dropped one of my earrings. I'm just being real with you right now. We all have weakness and strengths, but God showed me as I began to look back through some choices I've made that sometimes you can be, may not be making the best choices in the type of people you bring into your life. Everybody's not fit to be in your life. Certain people are meant to be maybe only for a season, even at a distance, even. It's okay to love people from a distance. For example, if you're someone is dealing with a CPS case, or someone that may be, and it might be something that they didn't even do wrong. They might just have had the wrong people in their life. Maybe it's been a wrong family member that had a drug history or a criminal history, or it could have been in a relationship. Whatever the case may be. Sometimes you have to do a reevaluation of yourself to make sure you are making the best choices, especially when it comes to you being the best version of you for your kids. It's okay to sit back and think about some things that you did and maybe you can do better moving forward in your life, whether it's choices of the things that you do or the people you choose to bring in your life. Just make sure that you're making the best choices that you know. And if you're uncertain, take it to God. God is so faithful. He will never leave you unknown without knowing what you need to know. And he is a protector of his kids, and he will reveal to you. So again, sometimes it's good to just sit back and reflect on things that you could do better or things that you would like to change, and just whatever it takes, again, to be that best version of you for you, and most importantly for your children. So once they return back home, or once you come back together the way you're supposed to be, you can make better decisions that next time around. Okay. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Beautifully Bruised and the CPS show. I am so honored to have this opportunity to be in front of you, to share all these awesome, great stories, to connect with these people, and again, to continue to pray. I'm going to continue to be in this furnace with you, to be praying for you and your children. If you ever need to reach out to me, do not hesitate to reach out to me on the website. On my website, it will be some other things I will be working on as well that can be very helpful and useful as well to you, hopefully and prayerfully. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Freedom Friday, y'all. I hope you have a blessed weekend. Please continue to keep God first. Don't never forget, don't never stop fighting for your children, because they deserve it. God bless you. Have a great weekend.